Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something that sits at the very core of nearly every modern organization, yet, well, it remains fundamentally misunderstood by most of the people running them. I'm talking about source code. Just think about this for a second. Globally, executives invest trillions of dollars every single year into software. Trillions. Yet, the vast majority of those same executives, they can't actually read, evaluate, or truly understand the underlying material they're buying and deploying. So, today we're exploring some fascinating recent insights from Maurizio Rosari on the future of accessible software. If you've ever felt a disconnect between the technology your business relies on and your actual grasp of how that technology operates, this explainer is definitely going to change how you see your own company.
Okay, let's dive into this. Who really understands your software? It's a genuinely fascinating dilemma. We live in a world where almost every organization increasingly depends on software just to function, to scale, and to secure its future, right? The entire business runs on it. But here is the paradox. The non-technical leaders, the executives, the governance and compliance teams, the people actually steering the ship, they cannot read the very software that powers their operations. Picture this. A governance team is brought in to audit a highly critical system. They sit down, they open the files, and they are basically staring at a brick wall of text. They fundamentally can't read it. It operates entirely as a black box to them, and what that means is they're managing profound business risks completely blindfolded. To solve this, we really have to change how we define the core material itself. We typically think of source code as just a technical artifact, a bunch of programming logic meant exclusively for machines and the engineers who type it. But as Rosari points out, source code is actually a vital form of shared organizational knowledge. Think about a dynamic pricing algorithm for an airline or an e-commerce platform. That algorithm isn't just math, it's a core business strategy. It dictates your revenue, your customer experience, your market positioning. But right now, that vital business strategy is written in a totally foreign language. Redefining source code as shared knowledge, rather than just technical instruction, that is the massive mindset shift we absolutely need to make if we're going to bridge this corporate disconnect.
Section 1. The Software Language Barrier. So the real problem is that this crucial organizational knowledge is trapped behind a massive foreign language barrier. It remains locked away in the specific, highly technical language of developers. We're talking about overarching architectures, intricate coding patterns, specific conventions, external dependencies, operational risks, and fundamental design choices. All of these elements have massive, real-world implications for a business, but because they're written in developer speak, they're completely inaccessible. Picture a brilliant chief compliance officer, someone with decades of experience in risk management, absolutely sweating bullets in a boardroom because they're being forced to sign off on immense operational risks buried deep in a JavaScript file they can't even decipher. I mean, it sounds absurd when you say it out loud, but this happens every single day. We are literally asking experts to govern systems they physically cannot read.
Section 2, Source Code as Shared Knowledge.
Now, if the current state is a locked-away language, the ideal state is shared understanding. The true challenge for the software of the future isn't just writing better, faster, or smarter code. It's hitting 3 specific criteria for everyone in the room. The new standard is this rule of 3. Code must be understandable, verifiable, and reliable. Let's break that down into business reality. Understandable means a CEO can look at a summary of a module and actually grasp what business logic it executes without needing a computer science degree. Verifiable means an auditor can mathematically and logically confirm that the system is doing exactly what it claims to do, ensuring total regulatory compliance. And reliable means the entire organization can trust it day in and day out. Crucially, it's got to be all 3 of these things for the governance teams, not just the developers who wrote it.
Section 3. The SYR Universal Source Solution.
To understand the solution here, we first need to quickly define the wider SYRGOS ecosystem where this actually operates. SYRGOS is essentially a holistic framework designed for managing and certifying digital assets. It treats software like the critical business asset it actually is. Within this ecosystem, different modules have very specific prerogatives. Some modules are built to manage analysis, digging deep into the fundamental structure of the software. Others provide strict traceability, tracking exactly where a piece of code came from, who altered it, and how it evolved over time. And still others exist to certify knowledge, ensuring that the software meets specific regulatory and business standards. It's a really comprehensive system designed to handle the complex, real-world lifecycle of digital assets in a corporate environment.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is Universal Source's role. It's not just another technical analysis tool. It acts as the critical mediating component between the raw, technical source code and real, usable organizational knowledge. It is the module that makes source code truly translatable. Think of it like the ultimate universal translator in a science fiction movie. It takes the alien, highly complex developer speak and translates it into plain English business trust. And by translatable, we don't just mean converting Java to Python. We mean translating it from a perspective of human understanding. It bridges the gap so that when a developer writes a function, the compliance team gets a translated, certified understanding of exactly what that function means for the company's risk profile. It takes the developer's language and translates it into something the rest of the business can confidently rely on.
Section 4. Going beyond open source.
And this brilliantly illustrates a major distinction that Maurizio Rezzari makes in the text. The goal of universal source is not to replace open source, nor is it trying to overtake it in a competitive sense. Instead, it's about shifting the paradigm from a tangled black box of code to a handshake of mutual understanding. Open source gives us technical transparency. It makes the raw code available for anyone to look at on a public repository. But let's be honest, if you're a risk manager and you don't know how to read it, that transparency is essentially useless to you. Open source utterly fails the governance test for non-technical users. The goal here is to transform that mere availability into universal understanding. It's making the code comprehensible, shareable, and verifiable for anyone, not just engineers. It's taking the blindfold off the rest of the organization and allowing true governance to finally take place.
Section 5. True universal understanding.
So, the crucial point is summarized perfectly in this quote from Rezzari: the software of the future won't just be smarter, it will also be more accessible. We spend so much time in the tech industry obsessing over artificial intelligence, optimization, and making software vastly more intelligent. We chase the next big smart feature. But the real evolution, the one that will actually empower organizations to govern their technology safely, is accessibility. Why does this matter to your business right now? Because an incredibly smart, AI-driven system that no one in your executive suite can actually understand or verify is not an asset, it is a massive, unregulated liability. Accessibility is about ensuring that the critical knowledge embedded in your systems is no longer a confidential language shared by a few, but a transparent asset understood and governed by all stakeholders.
I want to leave you with this final thought to consider for your own organization. Will your software remain a confidential language, or will it become shareable knowledge? Take a moment to really think about your own tech stack. Think about your recent compliance reviews and your leadership meetings where major technical acquisitions were signed off on. Were you actually looking at shared knowledge, or were you just trusting a black box? Until we move from mere technical availability to true universal understanding, we're leaving the most vital knowledge of our businesses completely untranslated and leaving ourselves completely vulnerable. Thank you for joining this explainer, and I hope this gives you a powerful new lens through which to evaluate the software driving your world.